Hello and welcome to class. Laura, Sahar, Vivian, Walter and Zara. I'm Kathy from Johannesburg in South Africa, and I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year and all the best for 2013. Today we are talking about social networking. Laura, would you like to tell us, how often do you visit social networking sites? Thank you very much, Laura. Okay, so you say you check it at least once a day, and whenever you get a moment, then you would check your social networking. Sahar, how about you? Sahar, there is quite a bad distortion on your line. Can you please turn up your microphone and also do your audio setup just to get rid of that noise on the background, okay? And then we'll come back to you. Vivian, would you like to tell us, how often do you visit the social networking sites?
Okay, thank you, teacher. I visit social networking sites every day. I like to use the Facebook, and I like to communicate with my friends and share some information each other. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much, Vivian. Right, so you like to visit it at least once a day as well, but as often as possible. And Walter, how often do you visit social networking sites? Lovely, thank you very much, Walter. Right, so visiting the sites as often as possible, just to see what's happening. And Yoshihiko, how often do you visit social networking sites?
Oh, teacher, hello. A happy New Year. I used to have, for example, I used to have my blog and update my blog every day. And last year, also, I would often visit social networking sites. It was Twitter, but recently, I rarely or never visited because I cannot enjoy doing it, and I prefer reading books and watching TV, or chatting or talking on the phone with my friends. So recently, I almost never visit social networking sites.
Thank you very much, Yoshihiko. And Zara, how often do you visit these places?
Hello, Max. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. For the social networking sites, I believe that since 5 years, I always visit my Facebook and as well as my Flickr in order to communicate with my friends and retouch with my ex-colleagues as well. And I love to publish there my works as a photographer, so I publish and post photos there. So I love also to communicate with my fans there. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you very much, Zara. Yes, it's a very, very handy to have social networking, especially when you've got people who are interested in your work. Right, so Sahar, would you like to tell us, I hope you've got your mic fixed, how often do you visit social networking sites? Thank you very much, Sahar, and thank you very much for fixing your mic. You sound much better now. Okay, and Brian, how often do you visit social networking sites?
Actually, I use it quite often, but not every day. Like 4 or 5 times per week, like that. Okay.
Great. So yes, I must say I'm not very good at social networking. I go there. It depends on which site. I check my emails every day on some of my emails, but especially the EF email, obviously, but sometimes I don't get around to it. So maybe once or twice a week I try to do it at least. But as for the social networking, I'm not very good at that, maybe once a month. All right, Ibrahim, would you like to tell us how often do you visit social networking sites? Ibrahim, hi. You need to click your mic at the top of your classroom. It's next to the green speaker. All right, let's move on then. Ibrahim, if you have a problem, please let me know in the chat pod. Okay, that's at the bottom left side of your classroom. If you have a problem that you cannot fix, then please do report it to the EF customer service, and I'll put the link in the chat pod for you now. Alright, so if you have a problem, please let me know there. Okay, so let's move on then. Tell us, what words of caution would you give someone who wants to create an online profile on a social networking site? Brian, let's start with you. Please keep your hands down. We will go down the list and you will get your turn. But as you can see, the class is big today, so we will just go down the list. Brian, please go ahead and tell us, what words of caution would you give to someone who wants to open a social networking profile?
Okay, I think the first suggestion I would give is to set the privacy setting properly. And if someone wants to meet you in person, if it's a stranger, you don't know him or her before, you should pay more attention to that. Just don't go by yourself and keep yourself safe. Okay.
Okay, good advice there, Brian. Thank you very much. So yes, don't go out and try and meet someone on your own. Okay, so sorry, Zara, we are going to go down the road. Okay, because otherwise I can't see who I've asked and who hasn't had a turn. Ibrahim, are you there? Okay, as I said, please do click your mic at the top of the classroom. It's next to the green speaker. If you don't want to speak in class, then you can always use your step away sign, and you can find that under the raise hand. So you just click the arrow next to the raise hand, and that is next to your mic, and you can then find your step away sign, and that indicates to the teacher that you do not want to speak in class but only want to listen, which you are always welcome to do. Okay, Laura, would you like to tell us, what words of caution would you give to someone who wants to open a social networking profile? Thank you very much, Laura. Yes, I do agree with you there. I must say, I go onto Facebook sometimes, and on the few occasions that I do, and I see people putting pictures of their children on there, and although it's beautiful and it's nice for them to share it, but it's very, you wonder to yourself, really what other information they give out on these sites that strange people could get hold of. Sahar, what other information would you give to someone who's opening a social networking site? Thank you very much, Sahar. And Vivian, what can you add to our list here?
I will give some suggestions, like you should pay attention to your privacy, and you have to choose some information you want to disclose and some information you don't want to disclose. For example, you can only give your phone number and address to someone who you are familiar with, and to avoid some unnecessary harassment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian. Yes, don't share your personal contact details. Don't show pictures of the place where you live that could be recognized from the street, for example, and that type of thing. And Walter, what else would you like to add to our list here? Thank you very much, Walter. And Yoshiko, can you add anything to our list here?
I would advise those who want to create an online profile. I want to advise never to announce personally identifiable information, not only about yourself but also your friends, family, or your company, because it might violate the duty of confidentiality.
Thank you very much, Yoshihiko. Violate, okay? That's the word you're looking for there. Thanks. All right, thank you very much, Yoshihiko. Yes, you don't want to breach your confidentiality, especially with your company, but you also don't want to do it with your family and friends, because if somebody tells you, I've heard that on Facebook sometimes people say the nastiest things about their family members, and what they don't realize is they've put this into writing, and it's really upsetting to think that people would be, how can you say, nasty like that in the written word. It's very difficult. You know, you can say what you want about something because words are nasty, but you can still apologize afterwards. But once you've written it down, it's just sort of like seems to stay embossed in life, you know. And on your own personality, it seems to be embossed there, and people see you like that as being nasty. And so before we say things about other people, we must think about the reflection it's going to have on our own personality, rather than just being blasé and allowing other people to think that we're so clever because we're saying something nasty. Okay, Zara, would you like to add anything to our list?
Yes, I would like to add that set up your privacy settings. So in a state of not publishing or post like personal photos, you can like set up your privacy settings. So you can specify who is going to see your photos or your status as well. So it is good that to share your status with your friends, but if you don't want strangers to see them, or the friends that not that close, you have to set up your privacy settings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zara. Zara, when you pronounce this word, it's a little different. When we're saying your privacy, I think Americans would say the word privacy, but in from the British English we would say privacy. Okay, so I like my privacy, but I would do my privacy settings. Okay, it's just the difference in pronunciation of the word. So it is, I like my privacy. In other words, I want to be a private person, and I don't like people to go into my personal details on the internet, but we would pronounce it privacy settings. But I think you can pronounce it privacy as well. I'm just telling you the difference so that if you hear it pronounced in, for example, British English, then you would not think that it's wrong. Okay, so the privacy and the privacy. Okay, so let's move on now. Did we use any of these phrases? Had better, ought to, must, and might consider. Tell us which of these phrases express optional things and which express essential things. So Brian, is had better something that is optional or essential? Sorry.
I think had better is optional. It's okay. I think had better is optional. Is just a soft suggestion, not somebody has to do that.
Okay, it's actually quite a strong suggestion that you should do that. Sorry. So had better is actually a very strong suggestion. It's not that you have to do it, but that it's quite a strong suggestion that you might consider doing it, okay? So to say had better, you had better set your privacy settings is quite a strong suggestion. It's not that you have to do it, but it's a strong suggestion that you should do it. And what about ought to, Laura? Okay, so the same as had better, ought to is also a very strong suggestion that something should be done, although it's not essential. And Sahar, what about must? Okay, yes, good. So it's an essential that you should do something. For example, set your privacy or privacy settings. You should do that. You must do that, in fact, because otherwise anyone can access your personal information. Right, what about might consider, Vivian?
Might consider is an optional thing because it gives some suggestions. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the only one that is actually completely optional. You might consider is just a suggestion, and for example, you might consider not putting photos on that are recognizable, photos of people that are recognizable. Okay, good work, thank you. So now, Yoshihiko, what advice would you give? So we want to complete our sentences here, such as this. So you ought to be extremely careful. Would you like to try number 2, Yoshihiko? Our words of advice are on the notepad, so you can have a look there. So please do take advantage of them.
Okay, number 2. You had better hide your personal information from public view.
Okay, good, thank you. It's not a problem, Yoshihiko, okay? It's just, yes, you had better, you should, it's the same thing, alright? So most of our words here are very strong suggestions, but we just want to finish the sentence, so please do go ahead. Zahar, try number 3 for us. What would you fill in there? That doesn't really make sense. Zahar, you had better screening, because if you were going to use had better there, then you would say you had better screen the photos that you upload. No, must won't fit there either. You could have put there, you might consider screening the photos, or you might think about screening the photos that you upload. Thanks, Zahar. And Brian, how about number 4?
For number 4, we can still use might think about or might consider.
Okay, good work. Thank you, Brian. Okay, you might consider using an avatar instead of your real photo. And then number 5, Laura. Okay, you should or you could. And Sahar, number 6. Okay, yes, I would agree. You must set your privacy levels. And Vivian, number 7.
I think you ought to be wary of screams. Thank you.
Okay, so it's scams, not screams, eh? You ought to be, or you had better, but ought to actually fits in there. You ought to be wary of scams, or you had better be wary of scams. Good work, thank you very much. Okay, so now, you've been chatting with someone you met on a social networking site for the last 3 months. And now they want to meet you in person. So let's start with you, Zara. You're student A, and Yoshihiko, you are student B. Zara, you want to ask Yoshihiko for advice on what you should do, and Yoshihiko, you can give Zara advice on the best way to handle the situation. So please do go ahead, Zara.
Hello, Yoshiko. Can you hear me? Okay, Yoshiko, just I want to get your advice regarding that. I had met a friend over the Facebook, and he is requesting to meet in public, and I don't know, like, what is your advice on that? What's your opinion? Should I go for that or what?
Oh, it sounds really fun, but I am a very, very timid and shy person. So if I were you, I would never meet in private or in real situation with those whom I met in a virtual networking system. But if you wanted to make friends with those people, I would like to advise you to accompany somebody you rely on. What do you think about this idea?
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, I do agree with you, but I'm not quite sure that he's going to get comfortable with that. Like, I don't know. I mean, my new friend, he's going to accept that I'm going to prank, for example, my other friend or my sister, for example.
Oh, it would be a very, very good idea. So good luck, Sarah. Sorry, Zora. Sorry, very sorry, Zora. Good luck. Have a good time.
Okay, Yoshiko. Thank you for your advice. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, good work there. Thank you very much, Yoshiko and Zara. And Vivian, would you like to now be student A? And Sahar, you are student B. So please go ahead when you're ready, Vivian.
Hello, Sahar. Sahar, I need your help. I met someone in the social networking site for the last 3 months, and he asked me to meet in person next week. Can you give me some suggestions? Okay, thank you. And I don't know whether I should go to this meet. And can I give you some my private information? Okay, I agree you, and I will protect my private information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Vivian and Sahar. Right, Laura, so you are student A, and Brian, you are student B. Please go ahead as soon as you're ready, Laura.
Then, Laura, how long have you been knowing each other on the website? Okay, if you don't know him for a very long time, I think at least you should take someone together with you to meet him, right? Just don't do that on your own. Actually, you don't have to. That depends on during your conversation if you trust this person, or if you feel that the place he wants to meet you is quite public, and there's a lot of people around, and there's nothing that can harm you. I think you can go there, and if you are interested.
Okay, good work there. Thank you very much, Brian and Laura. Someone still has their mic on. Please put your mic off. Brian, please put your mic off when you're not speaking. Okay, good work. Thank you very much. So, yes, when we go on the social networking sites, all right, to meet someone, but it's best to go with a friend or someone else, and also to make sure that it's a very public place that you go to meet this person, because you also need another person there, I would say, just to make sure that that person is not strange. Alright, so today we have discussed protecting your privacy on social networking sites, and we gave advice on meeting an online friend in person. So now, just before you go, why do you think some people use different social networking sites for business and personal friends? Brian?
Okay. I think the reason is everybody have different sides of life, and some sides they want to show to their friends, and some side they want to show to their business customers. So, like when I play a joke with my want to this to impact the image I set to my customers. So that's the reason I think why people use different social networking sites for business and personal and friends. And the other reason I think different networking sites may have the different focus. Like some are more focused on the funny things, or some are more focused on the business things or the news.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Yes, so it depends on what your interests are. So you don't always share all the interests that you have with family and friends. And also, for example, I wouldn't want my family and friends to interfere with my business life, for example, because I like to keep the two separate. So my family is one side, my business colleagues and students, for example, are on another side, because that's just the way life is, isn't it? Okay, so you're all welcome to stay in class after I have left, and you can ask either that question or the next question, which is, some companies look at your social networking profile as part of the interviewing process. Do you think this is appropriate? So you can discuss that with each other after I've left the classroom. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me, Brian, Ibrahim, Sahar, Vivian, Yoshiko, Zara and Walter. It was lovely meeting you today. As I said before, I hope that you have a wonderful 2013, now that the world has still carried on and we have not got the worry of it ending in the near future. Okay, so please do have a wonderful 2013. I hope I see you again in this year. I wish you all the best of luck with your studies. And just before you leave, please do your audio setup for me. Not your audio setup, sorry. Do your class survey for me. That is very important for your teacher, because as you know, EF has promised you an excellent service. So they would like to make sure that you receive that excellent service from me today. Okay, so once again, Happy New Year, and I hope I'll see you again in the very near future. And good luck with your English studies. Bye-bye for now.